Welcome to the Focus Forward podcast. I am so excited to be doing episode 1. I have decided that we're just doing this thing. Focus Forward podcast is really going to be my low format podcast because I really just have some things on my spirit that I want to share. And I think that they will help people grow. And I know they will. I've already coached people on these topics. I've already been through these things in my life, and I really just want to put them in a place where they can live. And when someone is looking for this level of advice, this level of conversations, it's here. Today's episode is about the power of no. The power of no. And I really want to explore no being a complete sentence and the people-pleasing ways that specifically Black women have had for hundreds of years. And unfortunately, not, all to our fault. It's really a systemic root. But I want to talk about how the modern woman, in today's time, I don't really want to dig too deep, but I do want to acknowledge that it really is something that goes way, way deeper beyond the surface. But I really want to acknowledge how you can apply that whole concept to your life. No is a complete sentence. So when I first got introduced to this concept that no is a complete sentence, N-O period, I was a young girl. I was in college. I had started my business. My business was called Branded by LeVay at the time. So this was actually the second iteration of my business. So, I had done it for maybe a year or two, and then I pivoted from Assisted by LeVay to Branded by LeVay. So from admin services to more design-focused services. And I went with my aunt and her son he used to have these football events in high school that were out of town. And I was saying football events because it wasn't an actual game. It was I don't know, y'all. I can't explain it. It was something like a training camp. I don't know. But he would have these camps and they would be out of town. So I'd go sometimes, just to tag along, to be doing something. And this particular time we ended up staying in a really nice place. And I ended up really needing, I ended up sitting in the lobby a lot because I was doing work. I still had my work. I had my laptop. We're staying in a really nice hotel. The lobby was beautiful. It's nice. It was, and there was lots of people working. So I was working as well. And while I was working in that process, there was also another lady there who was working, and she was also, a part of this group of moms who were there for their sons doing, this football training camp. And I just got to talking to this lady. I was having some client issues at the time, dealing with setting boundaries and really just in the newer stages of business, the newer stages of adulthood, really just juggling, trying to, be this thriving business owner. I had a job. I was in school, just really at that prime time, in life, that once in a lifetime, feeling of newness, life is new. And, you have a new level of control over your life after you go from being a child to being, a college student away from home, learning to navigate life. And so many challenges, but I ended up talking extensively with this lady about several things. And there was probably I think there was maybe a deal on the table or something that I was dealing with, or maybe I was, it was about time for me to fire a client and I really didn't know how. But she told me that no is a complete sentence. There's lots of other things that she told me that day, and I don't really remember what they all are, but I know I wrote a blog post about it. So I'll see if I can dig that up one day and actually read that up here because I learned so much from her. But I didn't know at the time that no is a complete sentence. I thought I got it. I thought I grasped it. But that is something that you truly need practice with. That's something that you truly have to have a understanding of, a confidence within yourself, a a a closeness, a oneness with yourself. Like you really have to be okay with saying no, period. Not no and, not no cuz, not no or no because if you need the proper terms, not no, but just no. And what made me want to film this or record this episode is I was talking to a friend today that was telling me that, she has a friend who was going through something with her family and she just, they were putting so many things on her and, some of her things in her own life were falling by the wayside. And she was like, the girl just didn't know what to do. And I was like, tell sis that no is a complete sentence. Tell them no. Tell them no. And they will be okay. And one of the things that I told my friend and she was like, oh, you're talking to me. I said a lot of times what us as Black women who are people pleasers, and I'm saying Black women because that's my experience. And not only is that my experience, but I know that's a lot of Black women's experience because we were taught to nurture and do 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 and never to check in with ourselves. But one of the things that we do not do that we need to start doing, I said, even if she can't tell them no, tell them, I don't know right now. I need to think about it. Check in with your own capacity. When someone asks you to do something, we're so quick to that yes. We're so quick to that okay. But we're not quick to say, let me get back to you on that. I need to check out some things and I'm going to get back to you so that you can actually feel into your capacity. And that capacity could be spiritual. It could be your physical, actual capacity of what you actually physically have time to do, because your stuff is what takes precedent. And then if you have extra, you can do extra. And as much as people like it to be the other way around, there's, other people's stuff is what they do. And if they have extra, they give to themselves. That's how you end up burned out. That's how you end up doing shit you don't want to do. That's how you end up in relationships you don't want to be in. That's how you end up not making your decisions and being in the same place 5, 10, 15 years down the line. Because you didn't check in. You weren't able to say, I actually need to do this for myself, and I don't really have extra left. You got to fill your own cup first. As anybody's anything. As a mom, as a wife, as a family member, as a sister, as a daughter, as a grandmother, as a mother. I already said mom, but as an auntie, as anybody, you have to fill your cup first. You first. You first. Because if you are not first, then you are giving out what you don't have to give. You give to people from a cup that's running over. In order to get that cup to run over, you have to fill it. Because if you choose not to fill it, let's say we start with a full cup. The cup is full. But the next day, somebody comes along and they're shaking their cup in your face. And you're like, okay, well, my cup is full. I got enough. Before you fill up your cup so that you can give them what's falling out of your cup. So you can say, put your cup under mine and let me fill my cup so I can give you what's left. So I can give you the extra. you just pour your cup into theirs. You tip it and you pour a little bit. And then you say, okay, well, it's still, because us people pleasers, us doers, us the people who are taking care of everyone, we're always like, hey, I'm good if my cup is only a third of the way filled. So a third of your cup is gone. You wake up the next day, 2 people banging out. And you're like, okay, well, I only got rid of a third of my cup yesterday. So now you pour and you try your best to give them what you can without taking the rest of what you got. So then the next day, someone comes along and it's 3 people. It's a lady and her 2 kids. They all shaking cups. And you like, well, this lady and their 2 kids. So you take that last little bit and you put it into those 3 cups. And because you're in the habit of not filling your cup, you then go and you come back the next day. Now the village is shaking their cups because they heard this lady will fill your cup. All you got to do is shake your cup in front of her face and she gonna fill it up. Now you don't have nothing to give. So you snap. You snap and you take your cup and you go back inside. When all you ever had to do was fill your cup first. And we all know what that go back inside feels like. It's the snap, it's the argument, it's the big fight, it's the I'm not talking to nobody, it's the I cut everyone off, it's the I'm burnt out, I'm done. It's the some people decide I ain't carrying my cup no more. I don't want no cup, I ain't carrying it. So not only are they walking around empty, but they passing around emptiness. They giving off emptiness. You cussing everybody out. You fussing everybody out. You mad at everybody because you didn't put you first. If you would have put you first, if every morning you woke up and you said, I'm going to fill my cup first and whatever I have left, I can give. Because if we reverse that story and we fill our cup first and we fill our cup first and we fill our cup first, then we have so much abundance coming off of our cup every day. So much abundance flowing from your purpose. So much abundance flowing because you are flowing. Because you are moving forward. You are able to help people when you help you first. No, I didn't fill my cup today. I can't help you. My cup not filled. I can't help you. Hey, I checked my cup. And we talking about capacity here. I checked my capacity. I can only do X, Y, Z. Is that okay with you? And a lot of that right there is just direct communication and really knowing how to communicate. But it's truly checking in with your capacity. Check in with you. What do I have to do? Say that's schoolwork. Say that's work. Say that's rest. Baby, understand that if you haven't had rest, your cup is not filled and you do not have the capacity to do anything extra. That is as simple as that. If your cup has not been filled, if you are not able to do it, the answer is no. And there's something to be said if you are able to do it, but this is not a person who would then turn around and fill your cup. Guess what the answer is? No. Unless you are just filling your cup that much, you have that much abundance, you have that much leftover energy to where you can give this little bit away and you can spare it. Other than that, no is a complete sentence for a reason. It's for you to use. And behind that, I want you to understand that in order to say no, in order to agree, forget about in order to say no. In order to agree to do anything for anyone, in order to overextend yourself for anyone, for anything, for any cause, for any reason, you first have to check in with your capacity. Are you able to do this thing? Are you able to make it work? Can it fit into what you have going on without taking away from what you already have going on? It cannot take away. If you ask me to borrow $100 and I only have $100, I need to check in with my capacity. And if my capacity says, now look, you need 75, this other 25, you could stand to lose. Okay. Hey, I'm not able to do the 100, but what I can do for you is 25. Take that one scenario, take the cup scenario, and apply it to every aspect. If someone's asking you to do something, if there's an area in your life where you are asked to overextend, and be clear that an overextension is anything where you have to go outside of your norm to get it done. Your norm. And so this is what that means, because I know people need breakdowns. I know that it can get tricky. This is what that means. Because a lot of times people will do this to you when you're already on the way there. So why can't you do this for me? Because it's already on the way. You're already on the way to the store. Why can't you drop me off at the place in between here and the store? It's not in my capacity. I have XYZ time to get from here to there. No. And that explanation is only for you. It's not for them. The answer is just no. I hope this blessed you in some type of way. Gathering this school of thought for myself took a long time. There was times in my life where I should have said no. No. I do not have the capacity to do that. Because this is the Focus Forward pod, I just like to loop all the episodes back to why you need to use this concept in order to focus forward. When you don't know how to say no, when you don't know how to check in with your capacity, it stunts your growth. It stunts your progress. Your progress is important. And in order to keep progressing, you have to keep filling your cup. You have to know when to say no, when to say yes, how to address and assess your capacity, and how to reframe your mindset so that you don't feel scared to say no. Because guess what? They can't beat you. And if they can, press charges on them hoes. The fuck? Bye. Love and light to you.